Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a really cool animated goofy telephone, and this is Edward's telephone from New York. And so he's got a note here, and he says the audio responses don't work any longer. I used to be able to push his hat, which is the demo button, and it would play several responses. Now it does nothing. Also, when I get a call, it's supposed to say things, and it doesn't. The dial pad does not work either. So basically, this is a really cool goofy telephone because of the fact that not many of them had the caller ID, and you don't see that very often. And this one says Nevada Bell. So what's cool about this one also is it has a power supply, and we've got our line cord here. So we're going to do, since this is the initial checkout, we're going to go ahead and plug the telephone in, and I should be able to plug the line cord into the analyzer and pick up the receiver and get dial tone, but I don't get anything, and it didn't seize the line. What's cool about this one is it's hearing aid compatible is what they call, but it's also what you would say is an amplified handset. So this is a very cool situation. Not all the handsets had that. So we didn't get any responses, and the telephone did not activate. So now what we want to do is we want to spin it around. Now most of these were battery operated, and this one is too. But since we have a power cord, and we've tested the, I'll go ahead and put it on the meter one more time, tested our power. It has power. And we're going to go ahead at the plug. We're going to go ahead and plug it in. And what's supposed to happen is we're supposed to get some LCD screen here. And so now we'll go for dial tone. And there is no dial tone, and it did not seize the line. What we should try now is some of our functions. And the demo button doesn't work either. And like I said earlier, we should get some LCD response here. So Goofy has a serious problem. He isn't getting any power, and we're going to have to take Goofy apart and start troubleshooting him. So this kind of gives you a little look at him. And now what I want to do is I want to ring the telephone here. And now our ring cycle has went by. I'll let one more go by. And nothing's happening. And there is no dial tone, and it's not seizing the analyzer. So now what we're going to do is take a short break, and we're going to troubleshoot Goofy and see what's going on and how come nothing is working on this telephone. So we'll be right back. Okay, we've taken Goofy apart now, and so what we want to do is I'm going to show you the main PC board, and these boards get pretty technical for the simple fact that Goofy has animation, and there's a lot of things going on, so it's a pretty technical little board. And so what we need to do is we need to go through this board and troubleshoot it and test all the components. And then we need to go through and resolder any bad solder that I don't like. When I'm in them, I do that because I always find something that's that I don't like on the solder situation. And sometimes you can have bad solder, and they can cause you problems too. So it's kind of preventive. But we're going to be looking for components in this situation since there's no power and we have a pretty serious issue going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take another short break, and I'm going to go ahead and go through this board and find out what's going on and start locating some bad components. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and so what we've done is we've located some components that didn't test out and that were bad. So we're just going to kind of move these to the side. We've already replaced them, and what I want to do now is I want to get into the board here. We've already done some resoldering, but I want to finish up. So what I want to do is I want to clean my soldering gun. And I want to touch up some of these final points that I didn't like. And it just looks like solder that hasn't taken well. And we already got a few, but this bottom half of the board was some of the area that we didn't get to while we were replacing the components. And some of it looked like it had a little bit of a cold solder situation going on. I want to take care of that real quick. As soon as we get this soldered up a little bit, we can start putting Goofy back together again and do some final checks here. I want to grab one more here, maybe the next one. Okay. Let me get one more here. Okay, so now what we can do is we can take another break here, and I'll start putting Goofy back together again. And before we get him totally put back together, I want to do some checks and make sure that he's working, but we'll just take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now, and we're ready to do some final checks on Goofy. So what we want to do is I want to go ahead and plug my line cord into the analyzer. We can move our test probes away. We don't need them any longer. And I want to plug the power into Goofy. And so we want to make sure our switch back here is in the animation. This switch back here in the back has off, animation, and ring, and then we have our power plug port. So what we want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to plug Goofy in and let him go through his little setup. So now what we can do, and if you see the LCD screen here, now what we have is we have our LCD screen here working. So that's a good indication. So now what we want to do is check for dial tone. And we have dial tone. Now I want to check this switch. I want to turn it up and down, the volume control. That's all the way down. That's all the way up. I want to go down again. Then I want it all the way up. Snoopy woke up when I picked up the handset. Now he's supposed to go back to sleep. And now I want to pick up the handset, give you some dial tone, and we want to check our numbers. So if you watch the analyzer here, we want to check our dialing out, because that was one of the issues too. It didn't dial out, or it didn't do anything. I'm going to end in a 2. Now I want to hang up. Give you some dial tone. I want to hit redial. And we should end in a 2. So now what we want to do is transmit into the handset. So if you watch this red light here on the analyzer, that's an indication of 100% modulation on transmit. Every time I transmit into the handset, that's an indication of 100% modulation. So we know that part of Goofy is working. Now what we can do is we can hit the demo mode.
Huh? Did you hear something ringing? Huh? What do you know? A phone call. If it's for me, I'm a-sleeping. Hit the snooze button for me, would you?
We'll let that go one more time.
Guess you're not home.
Okay, we'll stop it.
Huh? Did you hear something ringing?
Okay. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to move this telephone over to a regular telephone line and make some telephone calls with it. So go ahead and move it over. Give you some dial tone. We'll call like a time and temp number. And it shows on the LCD screen.
Good afternoon. Shop online anytime at Offenburg.com. A short drive to great value. Today is Saturday, August 18th. The time is 1:54. Current temperature 94 degrees. Now the Belleville area weather forecast.
Mostly sunny today with highs in the 80s, partly cloudy this evening, then becoming mostly cloudy, a chance of sprinkles, lows around 60, partly cloudy on Sunday, highs in the 80s.
Okay, so it did show me what number I dialed out on the LCD screen. We have a date and a time, and then it says no new calls, and then total of calls. So I want to try to call one other number. I'll call my number, and it'll be busy. And you can see it showing up on the screen, the number I dialed. But it also shows the time that I've been on. It says talk, and then it's counting down the seconds that I've been on the line. So we can be pretty assured that we're good with the LCD. Now what we want to do is we want to call the line and get the caller ID to read.